What's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Miss DJ Hoodie, also known as Audrey Alcuenva, and you are listening to another Why Run podcast live. Yeah, today is January 26, 2024, and I really have to hurry this up. I am like 10 minutes late. I have an Amazon block to do in, let's see, about 2 hours from now, and I don't like to rush, so that's why I'm trying to I don't like to rush, but I'm hurrying this up, right? I want to hurry this up, that way I don't have to rush having to do Amazon. So I have an Amazon block, and it is from 5:15 to 9:45 at night. And because it's in the evening and because it's Friday, a lot of people are gonna be just assholes, and you guys are gonna keep hearing me bitch and complain. I don't care. It is how it is. It is what it is, right? You can't change people's shitty attitudes sometimes. Let's see. Hi, babe. We got Just Rob in the chat, and he says, R.I.P. Rest in peace, Kobe. 126 is Kobe Day. Oh, is it really? Wow, I didn't know that. Yes, rest in paradise, Kobe Bryant. And Rob says, hi, baby. Hey. Yeah. Amazon. So, if you guys are looking at the title, and he shoved me. He sure did. He, do you ask? It is not Rob. Sorry to disappoint. I know some of you guys were probably waiting for it, right? But no, it wasn't Rob. It was some old ass wipe at the Amazon warehouse. Now, before I get into the story, I would really love if you guys checked out my newest video on KissCut. It is instagram.com/KissCut, KISSKUTT. And check it out. It's playing on the screen right now without the audio. But my block yesterday was, oh my god. And the dude shoving me was a kickoff. It was a kickoff to a shitty time in Fountain Hills. And I think I talked about it one time to you guys in a way earlier episode where I went to, I had a block. I think I had like 40 to 50 packages to deliver to Fountain Hills. And, grew up in Fountain Hills, right? As a child. Not as an adult in a car going up and down roads and twists and turns and more up and downs. And, I haven't experienced that as a child. Right? Now that I'm an adult, I have done rideshare in Fountain Hills, but not like all of the time. Like when I did rideshare, it was just me taking people. It was just me taking people to Fountain Hills. And then, there was hardly any rides going out of Fountain Hills, so I would just leave. So I haven't experienced the crazy ass up and down roads, but oh my gosh. On the 24th, ooh, if you look on your screen, oh my god. And I was telling Rob that the videos and the pictures don't even describe what it was like doing this? Like, oh my God, it was so ridiculous. But look on your screen, all right? And yeah, you can see me like right here. See, going down to my car, that was pretty steep, but I could handle it. Now this one, look at your screen. What the fuck? And then another one. And see my car way down there. Yeah. Oh my God. And I was telling Rob, like, you know, I have dreams of getting back into construction, right? But this is just delivery, right? It's just taking 1 or 2 envelopes, packages to their door, and they're like steep uphill, steep downhill, and it's like, I can't imagine doing work. And let me tell you guys this really, really quick, that I was delivering to this house, and there was a lot of construction workers that were kicking it outside having their lunch. You had painters, you had plasterers, you had, you know, plumbers there, right? So you had 3 construction companies working on this one house that I just happened to deliver to, okay? And I told Rob that, you know, I'm kind of thinking of backing out of trying to get back into construction, okay? And I expressed why, because I was telling him that, yo, I can't imagine working on somebody's house, maybe even a business that's on the side of a fucking cliff, and having to you know, like haul materials, whether you're hauling like, you know, 2 gallons of paint, 2 5-gallon buckets, you know, planks, things for the scaffolds, you know, because you have to assemble the scaffolds, and, you know, wheelbarrows, and, you know, and you're having to do all this to a house like this. Whether you live up a steep hill, or you live down a steep hill. And this is just deliveries. This is just deliveries. Just taking 1 package, and it's like, oh my gosh, do I have to put on a fucking harness to go uphill to drop one little ass fucking package? And let's just say I was delivering toothpicks to somebody's door uphill. Is like, why do my shins and my calves have to suffer for sticks that they could literally peel off the side of a tree that's in front of their house? See, you saw that tree just in the clip right there. You couldn't just peel off a piece of bark and shove it in your mouth. No, but you want to order these chips of wood from Amazon, and you expect us to drive all the way and what, 40 miles, and then fucking hike up a cliff to drop these toothpicks. And it could be a 5-pack. I'm talking 5 sticks of toothpicks. And you insist on having these toothpicks delivered to your door. It's so crazy about what people expect you to do. Yeah, so this video, yeah, it done it for me. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I was pissed. I was so pissed. And if you look at the beginning of the video, you see me not taking these 5 boxes that were too heavy right here. Right there in the cart. They were too heavy, so I didn't take them. I left them at the warehouse. Now, as the video goes on, you know, it's going on and on and on and on. So I had those 5 boxes taken off my block. And lo and behold, my very last drop off, those 5 fucking heavy ass boxes that I left at the warehouse was sitting right there, right in this clip. And I was like, oh my God, they actually found somebody to deliver those 5 heavy boxes that I called, and I told them I do not want that on my route. So they took it off, and it just happened to be the very last drop off. So that kind of explains it, because when I was on the phone with the woman, I told her, I was like, I'm not taking these 5 boxes. And she was like, oh, well, there's 6 of them. And I was like, no, there's 5 boxes. So that is why I had that last envelope that you see in the very, very last clip that I set on top of the boxes that actually made package number 6. And I did not know it. That envelope belonged to the same house with those same 5 boxes. I did not know that. But I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not hurting myself with any fucking heavy item. I'm just not. You know, because even with Amazon, you are still an independent contractor. You are not really employed by Amazon. That's why when I got into a fight with the guy a couple weeks ago, where I said, I'm not taking this back, or I'm not taking this with me, and he was like, oh, well, you signed, when you signed up with Amazon Flex, you signed a paper that says that you are and you will pick up 50 pounds. And I said, no. That only applies to the real Amazon employees that are working inside the warehouse. We're just Amazon Flex. Lifting 50 pounds does not apply to us. Now, it may be different in your city or your state, but I know what I've signed, and it does not say that. I am not hauling that. And there was a lady that was overhearing. She was like, oh, well, don't you have one of those carts? Why don't you get one of those carts? And I said, well, is Amazon gonna supply me with one? And sir, what do you say to the elderly people that are still trying to work, that still come to do Amazon Flex? Are you telling them the same thing? And he was like, well, we just don't know what to put back into the system. So, you know, I can't mark it on this machine here that it's too heavy for you to take. And I looked at that motherfucker and I was like, pick one. So stupid. Because when you return a package, it asks you, does you can't take it because there's either too much room, you have too much packages, it's damaged. It's like, pick one. Ugh, get out of my face. But so the motherfucker that shoved me, I was on the phone with support trying to tell this woman that I'm not taking these 5 boxes. I'm not hurting myself. I'm concerned for my safety. I'm not taking these. So she's working it, or I thought she was working it in her computer, and she told me to hold. So I told her that I had all of the packages already in my car except for those heavy boxes. So I'm waiting on the phone 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and as the time is ticking, I'm getting late. on delivering, getting to the location through traffic to begin delivering these packages. So that was 10 minutes. And I asked her, hello? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm still waiting for a reply. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking she's on the line chatting with her boss. Right? 15 minutes. I'm waiting. And I was standing up with the cart that had those heavy boxes in it. And I was just standing where I was out of the way. I was out of the way of people trying to get in and out of the warehouse. I stepped aside. Okay? Out of my vision, I'm looking at my phone, but I could not see, obviously, like way too. It was, this guy was out of my, what do you call it? The peripheral vision. I don't fucking know that word, but I could not see him walk up to me. But this motherfucker walks up to me. I did not see him, and he shoves me. Man, I looked up from my phone and I turned around. And I'm giving him the side eye like, what the fuck? And I had my headphones on. This is how I'm talking to this woman. And before I can move my headphone off of my ear, he whips his hand around like, get the fuck out of the way. And I'm thinking like, this dude could have tapped me and like, oh, excuse me. Like I'm putting these carts back. Like, he didn't do that. He just came up to me and shoved me, whipped his hand around like, get the fuck out of the way. Man, I took one heavy step forward and I shoved him back. And what's crazy is that everybody saw me pushing him, but they all ran to him. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker pushed me first. And I said that. But everybody, yeah, they all aided him. And I'm just like, yo, we're at fucking Amazon. Pull up the fucking video. He shoved me first. There was no altercation. There was no communication. There was nothing. Oh my God. And that was 15 minutes in. Me being on the phone with this lady. So, what did I do? I went and sat down somewhere with my cart. 20 minutes goes by and I'm like, hello? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm still waiting. And I'm like, all right. And for me, I'm thinking I will wait as long as I can, because I am not hauling these boxes. Right? 3 minutes goes by and she asked me, are you still able to drive? Like, are you able to leave? And I said, yes, my car's already packed. I have the map pulled up, but I'm waiting for you to tell me that it's an okay so I can take these boxes back into the warehouse and leave. Oh, yeah, you can leave. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe my fucking ears. If I had already left the fucking boxes in the fucking warehouse and left on time, I wouldn't have gotten all the way fucking mad when old ass wipe shoved me. So I wasted my time. I got punked. I'm sitting with these heavy fucking boxes. Now I have to wait even more in traffic. Oh my God, I was so fucking pissed. I was like, but I played it cool. I didn't get mad at her. I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you very much for all your help. And I meant that because, again, I am not going to haul 5 heavy boxes. And you guys see right on your screen how steep these fucking driveways are. Imagine going up and down. These driveways, steep as fucking driveways, with 5 heavy boxes. That's 10 fucking trips up and down these driveways. Yes, bitch, take it off. And you guys already know that I'm diabetic, so shit. If I didn't consume enough or have enough energy to do this, I would have passed the fuck out in somebody's driveway and no one would come to my aid. That's how fucked up the world is. They would just record me laying there. And then I would have probably went viral. That's how fucked up this is. Yeah, so moving on. So yes, check out all my delivery videos. I do Amazon deliveries. I do Uber Eats. I used to do DoorDash, but they cut me off because they have shitty fucking offers and they fucking know it. I do Grubhub, and I also do Walmart deliveries, as well as roadie deliveries, where you can pick up from, like AutoZone. You can deliver flowers. You can do deliveries for Home Depot. So yeah, I kind of do it all. So if you guys think you'd be interested in seeing those videos, and yes, you would want to go check out my delivery videos on Instagram and TikTok, which is instagram.com/kisscut. That's KISSKUTT. And TikTok with the same handle, TikTok.com/KISSKUTT. All right. So let's get into this article. So in the very first Boundaries episode that I released a few days ago, it was taking a look into, I was intrigued by it because it said boundaries within college. So it says, the article name is A Look Into What Healthy Relationships Are in College. Now, I finished up the article today, right? And honestly, I mean, if you reread the title, it says A Look Into What Healthy Relationships Are in College. Now, I don't know why. Well, I guess I do. But reading into beginning the article, it's almost like that's kind of like a general topic. Like, it's not, I didn't feel like it was fixated on colleges. I think this is just normal behavior in relationships, friendships, maybe even marriages, right? But it's all like a communication thing. So I did take down some notes, and we're just going to wrap up the last part of the article. And the thing that I had, that I figured, is that this kind of expands into a lot of things. And I do want to dive deep into each of those things, but it did bring up boundaries in families, right? And that one was very intriguing to me because of the conversation that Rob and I had this morning. And we were kind of beating ourselves up because it's like, oh my gosh, we should kick on a cast talking about this, because we always say that our best conversations, it is like an episode, right? So we're gonna do our best to capture those conversations, but we did touch bases on family and like boundaries. And just to give you guys a little hint is, some of them are, well, to Rob and I, it's spiritual, but to other people that we're having these conversations with, it is scientific, or it's atheism, or so, things along those, that nature. But it's all types of things were going into it. It wasn't just boundaries. It was like science. It was like history. It was like our cultures and beliefs. And if you guys are new to the Why Run podcast, the Why Run focuses on spirituality in today's modern society, but we also do cover fucked up human behavior in reels, TikToks, Instagram. It's all human behavior, right? So reading this article, it was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to get into this. And I really I just think that it needs to be talked about, because we've been listening to, especially Rob, he's been listening to like a lot of podcasts and stuff, and there are a lot of things that are intriguing him that he wants me to listen to, and we just kind of give each other like feedback and stuff. But going back to this article, let me see, let me look at my notes if I can even read what I wrote. So just to go off the college part, and I'm just I wrote these notes in the order that I read it. So it says healthy boundaries with family, it can reduce anxiety, resentment, strengthen conflict, and to build a better self-esteem. I never liked the word self-esteem. It just kind of sounds fake. Like it sounds like I just feel like that was a word that was thrown around when I was a child. Self-esteem was a word that was thrown around in the 90s. And it was like, I guess I still don't understand it, because once something is said to me and I get I read the definition, or I'm told the definition, it just seems like it still doesn't align. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't mean anything. And that's just how I'm hearing the word self-esteem. So, we're not going to get into like the family boundaries, but I guess if we were to, fit self-esteem in colleges, it's like, what the hell does that even look like, right? So another thing that I hope I can highlight, that when it comes with family and boundaries, and I know I talked to Rob about this more than a couple times, especially when Rob and I are together in person or on the phone. My mom will come in to my office and she's like, oh, I need you to do this, or I need you to do that. Because my mom's not very tech savvy, like she's not on the computer, and she just barely knows how to check her email on her phone. So the boundary, I guess, that I had from my mom was, Mom, don't tell me about all the things that I need to do. I know what I need to do, and that is why I'm in my office right now stressing about what I need to do. The last thing that I need is for you to come into my room and tell me all the bullshit that I have to do. So I guess I set up a boundary that, okay, you are not going to come into my office preaching to me about my responsibilities. So what I need you to do is write it on a Post-it. Put the Post-it on my desk. I'll look at it and I will gladly try to resolve it and get it done. But I don't need you standing at my doorway and I can see your reflection on my monitor. Because that stresses me the fuck out. So I think, in my opinion, Post-its is a perfect boundary, right? But I'm pretty sure that when we get into another episode where we're talking about family and boundaries, for sure, I would really like to bring up that highlight. But that was just something that I put within my notes. But let's see. So going back to the article in colleges, I know that's the second time I said that, and we really didn't. But I guess the writers of these articles, I know I stated their names in the first boundaries episode, was that I guess they asked the college students for their advice on those who were engaged in alcohol involved consensual sex. And they're asking their advice on how to navigate through that, right? But something that I've also written in my notes is that I think it does go back to what Rob was saying in our previous episode, was, does it or should it also depend on how long you've spent with that person? Because in college, you're meeting randoms, like you're meeting people, whether in class or on the hallway, or you're meeting them on the bus, or you're sitting next to them at lunch, or frat parties and things like that. And depending on the person and maybe their past traumas, or maybe college was just a quick escape for them to get away from their families. But I think it does somehow aid to them drinking and having that consensual sex, right? And what I also got from that article was that they insist that you don't rely on the nonverbal cues and being very clear with your intentions. Now, sometimes things just fucking get out of hand, whether it's alcohol induced, or if it was like drugs, or you were slipped something, or the trust or distrust in the person. But sometimes they, college kids, they have that don't give a fuck attitude. So those things are kind of like, and these studies, or this article, it doesn't really get into depth about the entire thing. Now, I probably shouldn't have expected that, because it's only an article. It's not like a whole textbook dedicated to, boundaries and the different types of boundaries. And this article just kind of threw everything all in there. Like, oh, you have that in friends, you have that in colleagues, you have that in other students, and, your teachers and your family. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess college is well-rounded, right? But I just felt like it was a little bit misleading, because they're speaking of all these other things when I feel like this solely should have been about the college. Now, towards the end of the article, it did give like let's see. It is going back to like resources, and I think this is the important thing about even though I feel like it doesn't really discuss boundaries, I think it's pointing you to like resources. So the resources that I got was, if you guys are looking for a resource, reach out, and it says have a safety plan beforehand, and be aware of dangerous situations, have empathy instead of getting angry. If you are like being abused, or if somebody's like crossing a boundary, right? But again, what is a boundary, and is it allowed? Kind of like what Rob was saying. And it says know where to report it. And I just jotted down a few things that they said, which is the staff, the faculty in RA, community directors in the housing in the residential communities. And it says check student organizations that aim to provide a safe environment for you. Now, this article, it does have a few links. And if you guys don't want to go into the article, I'll have the links provided for you guys in the description section. That way you guys can check it out. But I myself, I'm going to check out these links because I do want to dig deeper. I do want to dissect it. I do want to break it down to nuts and bolts. Because some of the things that Rob is sending me when it comes to like these podcasts and things that he's listening to that he wants me to listen to and we can have a discussion, I'm not hearing it. And I know this part is probably going to go into like something else, but I think it does have to do with like the big words and, what we got into when we were talking about family boundaries. It was like our siblings can be very, very technical with their words, right? And we're just looking at them sideways like, huh? Like, what the fuck? And then I know in other episodes I said that when I get into I'm hoping for a healthy debate with these people, but I've had conversations with people where they were looking at me, my background, my culture, and my people, that we were childlike in the mind. And it's just the way that they word it is kind of like, oh, well, you guys are so simple. Like, oh, you silly little country girl. Like, kind of, and it's like, well, really? We're not supposed to be more than that? And, it's really difficult to try to tell someone that is too technical with shit. So, and again, is it like a boundary? Like the people that you have debates with, and it don't necessarily have to be with like your family, but it's just how other people communicate. And in that communication, no matter who or what it's with or what for, is there boundaries? Is there things that you're willing to talk about or not? So I'm going to leave you guys with this. And I said this a couple of times in a cast where I had driven rideshare, and it was during the presidential debate of who was going to be president. And this was the first time when Trump was running, and everybody that was in my car, that was obviously all about the American flag and, shit like that, right? That were very loose with their mouth. Okay? And it was like, so who are you voting for? And I'm like, I'm not voting for anybody. And they were like, oh, well, you should be involved. Your vote counts. Well, I don't think so. Like, I'm not even, I'm not even a fraction. You know what I mean? And they were kind of like making me feel shitty about not voting, and that I should get involved. I should, do this and do that. And I said, well, you really want to know the reason why I'm not going to vote and I don't think I should vote? And they were like, yeah, tell me why, tell me. And I'm just like, I'm not educated enough about these things to put in a vote. So it's almost kind of the same thing. Like, people, they'll get into debates over things that they know nothing about. They don't have, first of all, they don't have the compassion, the understanding of what's going on. Everything to them is just on paper. And what's on paper is what is the most thing that's mattered, that has any kind of matter to them. But they're afraid of the full education and what it could mean for them or their political party, right? And it's just, I'm not going to get myself involved over things that I have no idea about. So, and that's my boundary. I'm not going to talk about things that I don't understand. Once something is said to me, and if I have questions, of course I'm going to be like, well, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for us, and what does that mean for the other party? But most of all, what does that mean for the world? What does that mean for the country? How is that helping? So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to get myself situated before my alarm hits 4. And I hope you guys got some takeaways from this. And thank you all so much for pressing play and tuning in to this episode. And yeah, next week, I don't know what exactly we're going to be talking about. But yes, boundaries is still on the list when it comes to like boundaries within families. But of course, a lot more research and all of that's gonna be had. Another thing that I want to tell you guys, that yes, the Y Run is more of spirituality in today's modern society. So we are going to be including a lot more spiritual stuff. And yes, we're still going to be taking it to the twits, like we're still going to be going over like videos and things like that, more articles, more podcast episodes from other podcasts. And of course, we're going to have links for everything so that you guys can check it out, and you guys can have an opinion and share it with us in the chat box. And yeah, we just want to get to the bottom of it. We want to talk about the things that other people are afraid to talk about. They're afraid to look at themselves in a mirror, and we're going to find out why. And we're going to put it to their asses, all right? And we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid, and that's just what we're trying to teach here at the Y Run podcast from just Rob and I. So hopefully you guys will be back for more. And yeah, we will definitely check you guys out. I believe tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. So yeah, we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow. And yeah, you guys be safe out there. Be safe out on the road if you're gonna be working like myself. And be sure to check out my delivery videos. And I have another one that's gonna be released tomorrow, so check that one out when it drops. And yeah, talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.